Hello everyone and welcome to the second session of the chapter Understanding Laws. In the previous sessions, I told you about how the laws get passed in the houses of the parliament and do that laws apply to everyone or no. Now let's proceed further with the topic how do new laws come about. Now, in the years since we adopted our constitution, many new laws have been made and several amendments have been made to the constitution. And in the previous session, I have given you the example of Hindu Succession Amendment Act. So, that was the change in the existing act. Every society feels the need for new laws to keep pace with the changing times, with the changing circumstances. Besides, difficulties in implementing laws also make it necessary to pass new laws. In our country, this has often happened in the context of ensuring the rights of the weaker section. Now, this is right that the parliament frames new laws and brings changes in the existing laws. But from where the parliament gets the idea to frame the new laws, to introduce the new laws, or to bring changes in the existing laws? So, who gives द आइडिया टू द पार्लियामेंट? अब पार्लियामेंट को कोई ड्रीम तो नहीं आ रहा है ना. अब पार्लियामेंट को कैसे पता चलेगा कि इस न्यू लॉ की या इस एग्जिस्टिंग लॉज में चेंजेस की ज़रूरत है? सो इन द अल्टीमेट एनालिसिस इट इज़ द पीपल who make laws through their representatives in parliament. But that is not all. We know that we have given our powers to the parliament and parliament has the duty to make the laws. But with this, our duty is not ended. There are various ways through which this takes place, by which we can say that actually we played an important role in law making. First, issues raised by the different groups in society. It means that we can raise issue if we feel any change in the existing laws, or if we want new laws for the particular section, for the particular group, then we can raise our demand. We can conduct protest, even we can demonstrate against the existing laws, or we can put a demand, we can put a pressure on the parliament to introduce new laws. The voice of the citizens. Now, voice of the citizens that can be presented in the form of with the help of print media, with the help of electronic media, in which the role of TV reports, newspaper editorials played very important role. So the voices can be heard through the media, non-governmental organizations and other organizations such as labor unions, lawyer forums, etc. सो दिस इज़ जस्ट नॉट अ थियरी कि जो पीपल हैं दे कैन प्लेड एन इम्पॉर्टेंट रोल इन द लॉ मेकिंग. दिस इज़ एक्चुअली people have proved time and again that people can put pressure on the parliament or to create new laws or to bring changes in the existing laws. Now, here we have the example of Domestic Violence Act. This is an example of how the people can put pressure on Parliament to enact a law. The need for such law had been felt by women all over the country for a long time. So, before the journey of that Domestic Violence Act, let's study the meaning of domestic violence. What is domestic violence? Domestic violence generally refers to the injury or harm or threat of injury or harm caused by an adult male, usually the husband, against his wife. And here the injury may be caused by physically beating up the woman or by emotionally abusing her, and that abuse of the woman can also include verbal, sexual and economic abuse. In nutshell, we can say that the domestic violence, to stop this domestic violence, the law has been passed, and it defines domestic violence as any kind of ill treatment, किसी भी तरह का बुरा व्यवहार, including physical violence, मार पिटाई, मेंटल क्रुएलिटी, मेंटल स्ट्रेस एंड बीइंग डिप्राइव्ड ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी, मीन्स उसको इकोनॉमिकली भी बहुत परेशान करना. सो इट recognizes a woman's right not only to be protected from violence but also to not being thrown out of a shared home by her husband, son, brother or other relatives or people she is living with. So this is a broad concept which gives protection to the women from you can say from the physical violence or from depriving depriving of property, like this. So let's start this journey, how this law actually got passed in the parliament. Now here the scene starts with October 2006 when Shazia and Kusum, here two ladies are there, Kusum and Shazia, who work for a women organization, and now they remember the journey of how the protection of women from domestic violence act got passed. Now here Shazia, did you read today's newspaper? Isn't it a great day for women? Now Kusum was asking from Shazia, and now Shazia replies that yeah, it's taken such a long time to get this law passed. In fact, it began with establishing the need for a new law. Then they remembered that how the two ladies came to their office and they complained about the physical violence incidents, like here they remembered the scene of April 1991. I need advice. My husband beats me up. I haven't told anyone so far. I feel so ashamed. I can't go on like this anymore, but I have nowhere to go. This was a complaint given by a lady. And then another lady, she also complained, I am being ill treated by my son and daughter-in-law. They verbally abuse me. Now here the abuse is verbal. I have no access to my bank accounts, and economic abuse, whereas in the first case the abuse was physical. I do not want to go on the police, to go to police. I just want to stop the violence. I just don't want to be thrown out of the house I am living in. So these two ladies actually, they didn't want any they didn't ready to file any case against the male counterparts, but just they wanted a little bit freedom, or you can say the protection against the violence. Unfortunately, the existing law is a criminal one and does not offer these options. So the member of this women organization suggested them that whatever you are saying, that comes under the criminal law, which do not provide such options, because that time they did not have such act. So let's continue the story. Throughout the 1990s, the need for a new law was raised in different forms. Now, the demand was put by the different forums. We have heard testimonies of several women. We have seen that women want protection against being beaten, the right to continue living in shared household, and often temporary relief. So, with these efforts in 1999, see 1990s में ये start हुआ, then in 1999 the gap of 9 years, after the gap of 9 years, now the lawyers collective group, this group consists prominent lawyers, law students, and social activists, and togetherly they framed a bill of domestic violence prevention and protection bill. So this draft bill was widely circulated, and they have given this definition of domestic violence which I told you earlier. The law should cover any women living within a shared domestic space. They should be protected from being evacuated from the shared household, and even the monetary relief as well. So this bill actually is going to be give the liberty to the women against the physical violence, against the verbal abuse or emotional abuse or economical abuse. But the bill was introduced in Parliament in 2002, but the bill has none of what we have been suggesting. Means whatever the proposals were being laid by this group or the NGOs, the bill was not according to that recommendations. So they decided to oppose the bill in its present form, and they called a press conference. We could also start an online petition, and they started the online petitions as well, and they decided to have a press conference. Several women organization, National Commission for Women, made submission to the Parliamentary Standing Committee. This is a committee. This committee is actually made for the laws. When the laws become unpopular, or when the laws are not according to the satisfaction of the people. So here the role of the Parliamentary Standing Committee was very important. So all that reports or the recommendations were given to the Parliamentary Standing Committee in December 2002. Then Standing Committee submitted its recommendations to the Rajya Sabha, and these were also tabled in the Lok Sabha. Means Parliamentary Standing Committee studied all the recommendations given by that lawyer group or by the NGOs, women organization, and further they presented their report to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So the committee's report finally accepted most of the demands of the women groups, and a finally new bill was reintroduced in Parliament in 2005. See, here the new bill was passed in 2002, but that law needs modifications, so that was further reintroduced and got passed in 2005. So after being passed in both houses of Parliament, it was sent to the President for his assent. And finally, the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act came into effect in 2006. Means after passing the law, the bill came into practice in 2006. So they were very happy, and again they called the press conference to share their ideas about this journey of the bill. So this is about the Domestic Violence Act. Now this law is very significant step, very important, because it recognizes the right of women to live in a shared household. Women can get a protection order against any further violence. Women can get monetary relief to meet their expenses, including medical cost. Now, the another topic, unpopular and controversial laws. Now, let us look at the situation where the parliament passes law that turn out to be very unpopular. We know that parliament made the laws, passed the laws, and they have the power from the constitution. So it's assumed that the laws which are being passed by the parliament, they are constitutionally valid and hence legal. In spite of that, the laws can be unpopular and unacceptable. Why? Because people feel that intention behind it is unfair and harmful. लोगों को लगता है कि जो भी लॉ पार्लियामेंट ने पास किए हैं वो क्या है, उनके पीछे जो इंटेंशन है रूलिंग पार्टी की या मेंबर्स की, पार्लियामेंट मेंबर्स की, दैट इज़ अनफेयर एंड हार्मफुल, मीन्स नॉट गुड फॉर देम. सो people might criticize this law, and in this way that law can be unpopular. For this they can hold public meetings, they can write about it in the newspaper, report to TV news channels, etc. And we know that India is a democratic country, so these are our rights. We can raise our voice against the laws if we feel that laws are not suitable to us. This right is given to us by the constitution, that is freedom of speech and expression, which comes under fundamental right. Citizens can express their unwillingness to accept repressive laws framed by the parliament. Now repressive क्या है? In the context of this chapter, it refers to the laws that brutally control persons and often prevent them from exercising their fundamental rights, including right to speech and assembly. It means that when a large number of people begin to feel that wrong law has been passed, and by that law their freedom can be restricted, so they started putting the pressure on the parliament to change this. And one such example we have, that is the law making hawking and street vending illegal. Now here various municipal laws on the use of space within municipal limits often make hawking and street vending illegal. No one will dispute the necessity for some rules to keep the public space open so that people can walk on the pavement easily. So this is just one, okay, like just to keep the space open. However, one also cannot deny that hawkers and vendors, clear, provide essential, we know that these hawkers and street vendors provide essential services cheaply and efficiently to millions of the people living in large city, and even this is a means of livelihood for these people. So if a new law favors one group and disregards the other, now like here the two laws are simultaneously, like one is for the municipal, one is for the people that which puts limit on the honking, so that is good, but to put restrictions on the street vending, that is not good. So the such laws can be controversial when particular law favors the one community and disregards the another one community. So in that case also, people who think that the law is not fair to us, if people feel that such law is not favorable to them, then they can approach to the court to decide on the issue. The court has the power to modify or cancel laws if it finds that they do not adhere to the constitution, means if the laws are not according to the basic structure of the constitution, then the courts can declare that law as illegal law. Further, we have one example from the US country, and that you have read in class 7th also, about the Rosa Parks, who was an African American woman who refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man on 1st December 1955. She was protesting the laws on segregation that divided up all public spaces. We know that racial discrimination was also there, and in some of the areas still it is in practice, the racial discrimination, but it's banned by the constitution. The constitution doesn't give freedom to practice this racial discrimination. So this Rosa Parks raised her voice against this racial discrimination, and she wanted that the law should be there which give protection to the black people. So her refusal, and this incident was started when she refused to give her seat to a white man. So her refusal was a key event that marked the start of the civil rights movement, which actually became the Civil Rights Act in 1964. And according to this act, it prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, रिलीजन और नेशनल ओरिजिन इन द यूएसए. तो यूएसए में क्या है, ना तो रेस को लेकर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होगी अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस, नीदर ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द रिलीजन और द नेशनल ओरिजिन इन द यूएसए. So in the last we can say that this is just not about the importance of the various law in our society or the role of the parliament in making that laws. It is here the need we need to remember that our role as citizens does not end with electing our representatives, but it is our responsibility to ensure that they are functioning correctly and making the right decisions for us. And we can do this by using newspapers and media to carefully follow the work that is being done by MPs and MLAs. We also need to alert and criticize their actions when we feel their actions are wrong, because the success of any democracy is directly proportional to the level of the people participation. More involvement from the people's side, the more successful is the democracy. So it is just not, our duty is just not ended with electing our representatives. We must be aware about the working of the government as well. So this is all about the chapter, and I hope that you got all the concepts, and very soon I'll come back with the new chapter. Till then, keep learning and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.